My name is Gabriel Marguglio. For everybody that doesn't know me, I'm the CEO of Nextiny Marketing. Today, Megan is not with us. She's busy, but I'm very, very happy to run this HubSpot user group CMS for marketers office hours event. Um, Nextiny Marketing is a HubSpot certified partner, solutions partner, and we've been in business 20 years. And we're here to share as much as possible about how to use the HubSpot CMS and all the things around the HubSpot CMS to create amazing websites that have great experiences and that convert clients from visits to leads to clients. Let's do this. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you guys for connecting. So let's talk a little bit about this, where we are. We are in the CMS for Marketers study group. This is a HubSpot Academy, HubSpot community study group. We have like 350 members now. I recommend you guys connecting. Corey, just share the link there. And also, we have the hug events for the CMS for Marketers HubSpot user group. If you don't get notifications, if you're not part of the study group, I totally recommend you do that. We run monthly events about HubSpot CMS and how to create HubSpot CMS experiences when you're not a developer, when you don't know how to code. That's why we're here. We also have another study group with HubSpot community. It's the video marketing study group. Totally recommended to go through that. Amazing experiences with video marketing, using video for marketing, sales, and service. We're sharing the links there too. And also the study group and the events, same kind of process here. So the office hours agenda today, we're going to harness ChatGPT for website content. We're going to talk about SEO research, and we're going to talk about blog drafting. And then we're going to talk about the no-nos about ChatGPT. Thank you, Carolina, and Bryce for connecting. I see a lot of other people connecting. Thank you guys for being here. So today we're going to talk about ChatGPT and the good stuff, how to do it right, and also how to not get penalized by Google while you're doing it. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do with ChatGPT, and we'll go through some Q&A later. So that's the idea, is to maximize impact and avoid pitfalls with AI. So there's a lot of AI out there that allows you to create content. We're going to talk about today about ChatGPT because ChatGPT 3.5 and now ChatGPT 4 have definitely make us believe that this is possible. I remember years ago trying to do some research on, the AI that was out there. We were saying, okay, AI needs to be a priority for us so we can create a bigger impact in our clients' marketing efforts and sales efforts. So let's do research. 5, 6 years ago, we tested a bunch of tools. There were some great tools out there, but the content wasn't there. And definitely the AI wasn't there. The AI for content wasn't there. The language models weren't there. ChatGPT changed all of that, and we all know this is actually happening right now. So we're very excited, but with the excitement also comes right ways and wrong ways to do things. So let's go through some of those things. Of course, ChatGPT has been growing incredibly, and this is just stats from like February. I can't even imagine where it is right now. You know how much is growing. You know how much everybody's talking about it in the news. We'll definitely share the link with all those stats. Today, we're going to talk about four things. We're going to talk about integrating ChatGPT. We love the story brand framework for website design, for website structure. We'll talk about how ChatGPT actually knows how to develop a story brand, uh, the brand story, your framework for your website, so you can actually use ChatGPT for story brand development, for your website design and your website structure. We're going to talk about how to use it for SEO research. We're going to talk about how to do drafting of your blogs and content creation and content assisting. We're going to talk about the difference between AI created and AI generated and AI assisted content. Very important difference. And then we're going to talk about some of the limitations and the SEO implications and some ethical issues there. So we'll talk about these things. Just to give you an example, these are just four things we can talk about, or three specifics about how to create content with ChatGPT. But you can do so much more. And I want you to start thinking about what part of my process, define your process, what part of my process could be simplified, optimized, made better with these tools. Not just ChatGPT, any AI. We're thinking about AI assisted marketing, AI assisted sales. So, how can we use AI to assist these processes that sometimes require human interaction? Sometimes they don't, but definitely AI can help. For example, for this event that you are on right now, I created most of the post to promote the event with ChatGPT. I created the outline for this presentation with ChatGPT. I created the content structure for the outline. I created the points to discuss, and I created a paragraph for myself to prepare for all of this. And all of that was created with the assistance, and that's the keyword right there, the assistance of ChatGPT. So let's get on it. Any questions before we begin? Corey, if you have anybody asking questions, please stop me or send me a chat, and I'll check it out. Put it in the chat if you have any questions. So let's go through. Everybody knows what ChatGPT is. ChatGPT is a language AI model that allows you to interact with the AI in a chat environment, and you can ask questions. You can ask it to do certain things, to create a blog, to create a structure, to create a song. It's very very fun. In January, February, when everybody was started to talk about this, I was like, okay, let's sit down, and I couldn't stop. I played with it for 4 hours. I made it rewrite "We Are the Champions" by Queen, and it did it, and it was like hilarious, and it was also scary. But there are a lot of great things we can do here. So let's talk a little bit about website structure, because we're in the CMS for marketers um, HubSpot user group here, and study group. So StoryBrand is amazing as a website structure. It allows you to identify, simplify your messaging, identify your audience, simplify your messaging, and define the call to action. And you want the client, you want the 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 user, the visitor to go through in your website. So we love the story brand. Corey just shared some links there. You identify and frame your target's audience. You identify your positioning. You craft a clear call to action. You establish authority with testimonials. So we have talked about story brand a lot in this HubSpot user group and these events. But the beauty of using ChatGPT is you can ask ChatGPT to write something with the story brand framework in mind. So you look at the example on the right. I said, create a structure of a homepage using the story. And this is how you talk to, or how to, you write to, or you chat with ChatGPT. Not necessarily have to chat this way. It understand what I'm saying, or is trying to understand what I'm saying with the text that I put there. I literally did a command, and I gave it a lot of information, or some information, so it knows. But if you look at what came out, it created a structure not only for the type of company that I asked for, with some of the aspects, because I said founded in 1950s. It included that in the sub headline. It included things like that, but also it's thinking about what is the problem, what is the solution. It's thinking about the story brand structure. So it's creating a website homepage structure, thinking of story brand with the information that I gave it, and the information from the internet. So this is a time savior for sure. And it's important to understand that I didn't just say create a homepage for a marine company or mine construction company. And that's where we're going to start defining how to use these tools the right way. I gave the tool, and in this case, I didn't give the tool a lot. I gave the tool some information, more than just 3 words. So the result is much better than just create a homepage with this, right? Now, the more information you provide to the AI, the better the content is going to be, the better the interaction and the learning from the AI is going to be. And that's the key to this whole thing. You are the expert on your business. You are the expert on your audience. You know your audience pains. You know your audience issues, and you know the solutions you can provide for your audience, and you know certain key things that you only know because you're a human, you had experiences, and those experiences allow you to know things that other people don't know, or the internet or AI don't know. AI doesn't know about your business specifically. It knows what other people talked about your business on the internet. So that's the key to using AI tools to assist you in the creation of things like this. In this case, creating a structure for a website will make sense for this case. And as you can see, the structure is pretty good. And then you can go deeper and deeper. Now, what would be cool is if I just have the homepage of my current website and I select all the text from that and I say the same thing and I say, consider this information that's already on my homepage right now, it would actually take all of that information and include it as part of the structure or as part of the text or as part of the. So the more information you provide, the more the AI is going to generate. And the better the content, the more unique the content, the more unique the response is going to be. I have a question here. Will there be a copyright issue when you use content ChatGPT? That is a great question. And we're definitely going to talk about it in part 4. There are a lot of legal and ethical implications of copy pasting content from ChatGPT. That's why we're going to recommend you assist the creation of content using ChatGPT, and you don't have ChatGPT creating all the content and you copy pasting all the content. But we'll get there in a second. Great question. So definitely, there's going to be copyright. There's there talks of watermarks, like AI watermarks. They're gonna embed a code in your copy to try to determine who is the owner, who was the writer, and those things will definitely change the way we use these tools in the future, and will change the way AI assists or generates content for sure. So let's get into what would happen later after this. Like I said, I could add all the homepage content. I can add all the content from my whole website. I can add my brand document content. I could copy paste blogs into the prompt and say use these blogs to craft the content for this. So the more you actually add to the AI, the more you add to the prompt, the more the AI will have unique expertise from your business and from you to actually create content that is not AI generated. It's AI assisted by the content you provided. The AI is doing the work of creating. It's not actually generating content from something that's creating from somewhere else. We'll talk about how to make sure the content is not just AI generated. So what's cool about this is you can interact with ChatGPT to the point that after I had this structure, I can say, remove number 2, add number 3 with this structure. Can we make this more, oriented to this specific audience? Can you write this to attract an audience that's older or younger? So this is something that the AI knows what to do. Um, is write content the right way for specific things. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you for being here. I usually use it on the browser. I don't use apps. Great question, Elaine. I use the browser because it's the direct access to it. There's a bunch of apps coming up now, and I don't think they're the OpenAI app itself. It's something using ChatGPT. We actually bought the paid version, and we're using the paid version, which is faster and everything. So I recommend the browser version. It's a better experience, in my opinion. So if we talk about number 2, utilizing ChatGPT for SEO research, of course, I would recommend using great tools like Moz and Search the Web and uh, oh my gosh, there's so many. So using great tools to do SEO research. What's great about ChatGPT is that if you're having a conversation, and I do call it having a conversation with ChatGPT, with the AI, about something, about your structure of your homepage or about a blog or about the structure of a blog, all of that is part of the learning process. You're teaching the AI at that moment to understand that this is you, these are your unique points, this is who you are, these are your audiences. So why would you start a whole new chat, continue that chat, and ask questions like, what long tail keywords should the content include, or what keywords would this kind of audience use, or what are some pieces of content that competitors don't haven't done yet, or what is, how can I create blogs that will align with this intent that my audience has. So there are a lot of things that you can do: keyword research, content gap analysis. There's a lot that you can do to understand, to use the AI to understand what kind of keywords, what kind of SEO optimization you can do. I just had where we have a video series called Martech Masters. We're on our season 3 now, and Martech Masters is gonna relaunch on season 3 next month. And we just talked to someone from HubSpot that actually had been testing these things, and they've been using AI to go deeper into the people also search questions. So when you Google something and you see people also search things, you can redefine your content by using the people also search. So you can have the AI help you define those things, and also find out what people are searching, that are also things that are also important for that piece of content that you're creating: a blog, a homepage, a pillar page, a landing page, whatever it is that you're trying to optimize for conversion, for SEO. So, Austin, you said, what kind of prompt would you ask ChatGPT to identify content opportunities based on competitors? So you can say, these are some of my competitors, or these are some of the blogs that I have out there. Or this is a list of, like, the, remember, you can feed anything to the AI. Now, the AI is going to have limited knowledge of a lot of things, because, and that's point number 4, the AI doesn't know anything after, I think it's September 2021 now, or something like that, because they feed the internet to the AI. So remember, there's a lot of limitations there, but you can ask, what are some things that are not being written on the internet about this topic, for this intent, for this, and the AI will prompt you with ideas. That's usually what happens when you ask for ideas. When you say, I want ideas for blogs on this and this and this, that's part of the research that we do. Or for this company, for the homepage that I just wrote, for this structure, for this blog, what blogs would you write? And now I'll share that in a second. So you can keep asking questions. Now, a great thing here, you said, what kind of prompt? And that's one thing I want to talk about is, you don't need to write like a human being. The same way, we went from doing keywords on Google, and saying restaurant, Florida, Thai food. Now we're talking to Google, and we're saying, can you please find me a good restaurant with outdoor seating that's Asian? I like Thai, and I like this, and I like that. Find me something like that. The AI will understand something like that. But people are starting to find out that the more words that you put in there that are either stuffy words, or please, or things like that, all those words, remember, everything you say in the prompt is going to be part of what the AI tries to use to respond to you and define the next word they're going to create. So if you say please because you think you're being nice to the AI, and I think we should all be nice to the AI, because someday they might wake up and rise. But jokes aside, definitely be nice to the AI. But if you add please to the prompt, ChatGPT is not going to take this as, oh, Gabriel's being nice to me. Thank you. I will be nicer to you and create a better answer. No, it'll say, oh, Gabriel wants an answer that is polite. So you need to be careful, and you need to test this and continue to test this to see what prompts. And people are creating prompt books and things like that, because we're all trying to test how we can get the best results out of this. Remember, there's a machine with logic on the other side. It's not a human thinking. So we have to be careful. I always say please, but I started to reduce the amount of extra words just in case, to get the best result. Test, test, test. And I would say double check, because inaccuracies, the AI will be inaccurate, will create things that don't exist, and we'll talk more about in point four, but in part four. But double check research, do your own research, go to Google things, try to find out if what you're going to use here, save the time, create more and better stuff, but double check just in case. um so part three, ChatGPT for blog drafting and content creation. I think this is one of the most fascinating things that I'm using ChatGPT for. We're using it, we're testing it with our content partners. It's really, really fascinating what you can achieve with this. I am not a writer. I'm not even, English as a first language. I spoke Spanish for, 15 years of my life before speaking any English. So I don't write correctly all the time. I make mistakes. I have grammar mistakes. I have a lot of issues with talking and writing, especially writing. So this is a tool that really helps me create content that is correct. At the same time, I know a lot of things that other people don't, and I can put that in there. And that's where your expertise comes in. So I was continuing that conversation, like I said before, talking about that homepage and then talking about those keywords. And in the same chat conversation, I said, what blog should we write about this? Should we write to attract the ideal clients? So if you start looking at the responses, is top considerations for protecting your water from property in Sarasota, the benefits of custom concrete seawalls for luxury waterfront. We have clients in this industry, and these topics are correct. These topics will bring visits to the website that might turn into leads and might turn into clients. We have created pieces of content like these, manually human made, for our clients. So this makes sense. And I literally spend 15 minutes with the AI. The more time you spend, the more you feed, the better, the more unique, the more value there's going to be in the content. So these are some content ideas. Ideation is great. ChatGPT is great for this. You can just ask a question and get a bunch of ideas. And then from that idea, you change it, you add your own, you say it to rewrite it, you ask, what about this? What are some keywords for that? Would this topic bring a lot of visits? What is the amount of visits for this topic or that keyword? And then I said, write the structure for the blog, and I copy pasted the title, and I made it write the structure. So look at this; it's important. I didn't make it write the blog, and yes, you could make it write the blog. You could say write this blog, and it would write something that will be okay, and it'll be interesting, and it'll be keyword rich and things like that. But is that going to be valuable content for your audience? Is that content going to be content that your audience will actually read and say, well, this is great. I want to know more. I want to learn more. Or are we just creating content for the sake of coming up on Google and actually getting some, visits that don't really affect your bottom line or don't really bring potential leads? So think about that. I'm asking ideas, I'm asking keywords, I'm giving more and more information. The more information I give, the better the information is going to come out. Now I say, write a structure, and then I change the structure depending on what I know, and I add things. And you could say, you can write a draft of those sections, or you can say, write me a draft for this section, keeping in mind this and this and this and this. So you see the process. This process is iteration. It's not write me a blog about this. It's ideas, keywords, titles, write a structure for this, keeping in mind this. You change it at every single iteration. And once you have the structure, you say, write me the draft for this section. And then you go change the draft and you say, can you write this about this or remove this? This is like having a writer in front of you that you can say, I actually want you to write something about this and then do this. And then actually, you didn't include this keyword, or how are we going to make this thing? Or, you know what I mean? So I see it as a conversation with an editor more than something that's going to create everything for me. So Bryce has a question. Are there prompts that you are sharing? Are they all in ChatGPT thread? Yes, all of the chats that I'm sharing in this example are all in one thread. So I didn't go out of the thread for the homepage to do the thread for keywords and then go to another one to do the thread for all of these are on the same. And actually, I've learned that the more you do that, the more you use the same thread, the better the answers. And I have had threads that are hours, and then at the end, I ask something, and it's including pieces of all the information I provided as part of the content. So that's when you realize that the content is not AI generated. It's the AI is assisting you on the creation of something that it will be unique. So definitely you can craft engaging headlines, you can generate ideas, you can select uh, the most effective ones, you can generate a logical structure of your content. You can even test the content and say, hey, does this make sense? You just post the whole thing and say, does this make sense? Does this continue with one voice? Or make this more for a professor in college, or make this. I was joking with my kids, and I was like, make this blog as if a 13-year-old kid wrote it, and it started doing well, like the other day, like I was like, and it started to add likes and things like that. It was hilarious, but it understands the way different people with different educations for different sources for different purposes will write differently. Again, any questions about this? I can go on forever about this, but so feed the AI as much information as you can. Uh, the subject matter expertise comes from you, and then refeed it and refeed it. For example, people are testing, instead of saying write this section with this information with these keywords and then writing the second section separately, they're saying write the section, and once they have the first section written, the draft, and then they go write it themselves or rewrite it or fix it or edit it, then they feed that first section to the AI again and say, now write the second one, considering what I just wrote on the first one. So again, that re-entry, that refeeding the information will get you better results for sure. Um, so part four is the limitations, the SEO implications, the you know AI generated content is going to be in the news for the rest of our lives, probably. I would say the biggest issues with quality is, there's a lack of subject matter expertise, which I see as a huge opportunity because now everybody can write black content in 2 seconds. So that means the content online is going to get worse and worse and worse because most people are going to use this to create the whole blog to trick Google and pay the consequences, right? But the beautiful opportunity out of this is that because most people are going to do that, if we do it right, if we create human generated AI assisted content, we can create better content. We can create content not just faster, not just like more content, and more is not the answer. You can create better content, better pieces of content that come up faster on Google because Google understands you really are answering to your audience pains and questions and issues. And we also follow that they ask you answer methodology. Answer your clients' questions. If they have questions and you answer them, they'll come to you. You are solving their issues. If you just generated a bunch of keywords in the form of a blog, that's not going to help your business. It might help your short term SEO until Google figures it out, and they're figuring it out faster and faster, but not your business. So, and of course, there's inaccurate and outdated information too. A lot of the information is like older because so you can't ask for the news. You can't ask for what happened yesterday because that doesn't work. It's not how ChatGPT works. They feed the whole internet until a certain point. So that is a limitation there. But also it creates things that don't exist because creating logic. It's thinking what's the best next word. So sometimes if you ask, hey, what's the source of this? It'll say, I don't know. I don't have a source. It wasn't the internet. And I know all of it. And then I create this. But then you check and that thing doesn't exist. So you have to be careful and you have to double check sources and things like that. There's SEO implications. Google is changing the way they define these things, and they have changed their position many times. I will be very careful. In like 5 years ago, Google came out and said absolutely every AI generated piece of content is going to be considered spam, which means they're going to penalize you. Your website will go down, your ranking will go down, you'll lose visits, et cetera, et cetera. You know how important it is to be in on the right side of Google. So now they're changing their position a lot. I would be conservative here and follow the worst guidelines that they've ever come up with, which is, yeah, AI generated, copy pasted from ChatGPT without any input interaction and value is going to be considered spam. That is my opinion, and I consider I can it's just like repeated content in the past, which is still a problem. Um, a lot of that will be repeated content, will be spam, will be considered spam. So there's if there's no uniqueness or value, it's not going to be considered good content because you're not solving for your users. Now, test it, test the content we are sharing here. Corey will share some links. You can test the content with Copyscape to make sure that it's not repeated content. You can test the content with the OpenAI classifier, which is their own tool that tells you, yeah, this is AI content, or this is unlikely to be AI content, or so that's a good one, but it hasn't been working great lately. The one that I'm testing now and it's working great is the one on the picture here. Is the ChatGPT, the zero GPT. It actually tells you the percentage. Like in this case, you can see, it's more likely to be human written. You're good, right? Like 10%, 15%, you're good. And then it shows you the sections that it thinks it's AI generated, and you can go and change them. So create content that's considered human content with AI, create better content with the assistance of AI. Any questions, guys? So just to wrap up here, the best formula we found out for this is human initiated with a lot of data, a lot of information, AI assisted with final, you complete it with a human interaction the way again. So it's human, AI, human. It's not AI, human, or human, AI. So human, AI, human has been the best. And not only the best to create the best pieces of content, but also um, we are already coming up on Google with these tools. We're showing up on the feedback with these pieces of content. We're showing up on the feedback box on Google. So it's working. Not only we're creating better content for ourselves, our customers, and the tests that we're running, but the content is showing up on Google, is showing up on the feedback. So Google is not recognizing that content as AI generated or spam. So we call this AI assisted content instead of AI generated content. Being unique is better. It's more important than ever nowadays because of what I just said. Do not create more content faster, create better content. Spend the same amount of time or even more and create a better piece of content that's engaging, that your audience will love, and that they will come back. At the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. We're creating website experience, content experience, video experiences, sales experiences that people love. So they love the brand. So you get brand affinity. It's so much more than just SEO visits and leads and clients, right? So Bryce, you said of these tools, which one do you prefer to use? I actually run everything through Copyscape for repeated content, because we don't ever want to put anything that's repeated content. That's how we run every blog for every client runs through Copyscape. And then also on top, I test for AI. The one that I'm using the most now is Zero GPT, because it gives you not only the percentage, which is cool, but also it gives you the pieces that you need to, so you go and re-edit, you go and refeed, you go on and fix, and you make it better and better and better. And then you have humans read it, so it's not a convoluted piece of 15 pieces of content that the AI wrote for you. So make sure you have humans checking things out. I know that this was a lot, and I could talk about this forever. As you can see, I am super excited about the future of AI and using AI to actually assist all these processes. Corey just shared an article where we share some of these things about generating content with AI, but also video AI generated, and the how it lacks the humanity and things like that. So what's important is that the humanity and the uniqueness of your content is going to be more important than ever, uh, because people are going to create AI generated boring content, and your content will actually get better ranked, get better results, more time on site. People are going to engage because you're actually doing right. Um, any questions, guys? Anybody wants to come off mute? Ask me anything. I'm right here. Anybody wants to put something in the chat? Thank you, everybody, for engaging so much. Thank you, Lane. Have you had the opportunity to use ChatSpot? If so, what's your take on it currently? ChatSpot is amazing. I've been using ChatSpot for years. I know that Mesh launched ChatSpot, and actually we're writing some content, and we actually have someone from HubSpot that came to our show to talk about ChatSpot. ChatSpot is so cool, and now ChatSpot is fed and assisted by ChatGPT 4, which makes it even better. What ChatSpot allows you to do is, if you're using HubSpot, you can get information from the data that you have in HubSpot, from your CRM, to make decisions. You can add ChatSpot things like, how many visits from this country, or how many visits from countries in Africa. So before, ChatSpot knew what HubSpot knew, but it didn't have the language assistant and the language model that allowed it to understand things with knowledge of the internet and things, right? Like, if you say, show me how many visits I got in the last 20 days from per country, HubSpot knows that information. But if you say, how about the countries in Africa, that's not something you could ask HubSpot, because HubSpot doesn't know which countries are in Africa. But ChatGPT 4 knows that. So now, combining these two things, you can get better prompts. The difference between ChatSpot, there's a content assistant in HubSpot that's amazing, and now you can test it. ChatSpot is in alpha right now, and it's going to get available for everybody. But what's interesting about ChatSpot that's different than ChatGPT, even though there's an assistant inside HubSpot that you can use the same way as ChatGPT, ChatSpot is not so much for you to do what you do with ChatGPT, which is creating content. Yes, you could do some things like that. But what's interesting about ChatSpot is a different way to use HubSpot. Instead of going click automation, marketing, website, forms, and click, 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 click to get to the point that you get the information that you need, you will ask the question. You will ask the information. Like you ask ChatGPT to create something for you. You will ask ChatSpot, can you get me the latest leads that did this, that engaging with this video, and that, like, in the near future, you'll be able to ask more and more questions to ChatSpot, and you'll get the answer. You won't have to click 20 times to get to the place where the data. These tools like HubSpot are getting so complex, and there's so many things you could do with them, that then the user experience, it keeps evolving, and it keeps getting better and better, but there's still clicks to get to the point that where you can get that information. Well, a chat prompt like ChatSpot can save you a ton of time with that. So I see, what ChatGPT prompts do you use for keyword research on a competitor? You can literally say, you can put a whole blog from a competitor and say, what would this blog rank for? Because it analyzes the whole blog. I even ask ChatGPT to read for me and say, hey, what is literally I said, what is the gist of this article, and copy pasted the whole article. And it gave me 2 paragraphs to read instead of a huge article. So understand that you can feed things. So if you want to do research on a competitor, you can say, from these 4 articles from this competitor, what are the keywords that they're going to come up with? You can also try using brand names and URLs, but it doesn't go to the website right now. So that's where you're limited. ChatGPT, hopefully in the future, you'll be able to say, go to this website and go to the about page and do this and check that and tell me what they come up with, or what's their traffic today, or something like that. But it doesn't have that information. So you have to find another way to do that. Does that make sense, Bryce? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting with the HubSpot user. Go check us out on the HubSpot community and follow us on the HubSpot user group for the next events. Thank you for being here today. And if you have any questions, connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email, gabriel@nextinymarketing.com, and I'll be happy to review your questions. Okay, take it easy. Have a good one.